Oh,
Mages.
my bad. Sorry. God damn.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another Nerd Tube Star Trek episode review. We're here this evening talking about Lower Deck Season 3, Episode 1, Grounded. I'm joined by my fellow Trekkies in arms. To my right, Zamir, how are you doing? Good evening.
Oh, it's good to be back. 4 months of no fucking Star Trek. I actually got sorry, not 4 months, 4 weeks. I was going through so much fucking withdrawal. I got out my fucking Motorola Razor and flipped it like a communicator, asking for fucking doing my captain's log, in the fucking toilet because I was fucking missing Star Trek so fucking much.
It definitely felt like 4 months. You're right there. Um, Below him, Cousin Cheeto, how are you this evening, sir?
Doing good. Also missing Strange New Worlds, but I am very happy that my favorite Trek out of the new Trek, and I will stand on that statement, Lower Decks is back.
Excellent. I'm of a like mind with you. Below me is Commodore Boone. How are you this evening, sir?
Hey, we're doing great. We're doing great. I mean, I listened to this thing all day when I was mowing grass, and it's pretty interesting.
No, it was a pretty good episode. A lot to unpack here today. A lot went down.
hmm
Um, we've got the comment from Daniel Vance. Do we want to pull that up real quick before I get to the blow by
Yeah,
blow?
yeah. He slept too long. Oh, sorry, I'll do it. He
Hey,
slept too
Daniel, what's
long.
up?
Yeah. And he also said Michelle's ashes were loaded aboard the same rocket at Jean Major and James Doohan for launching to orbit around the sun later this year. I had no idea the ashes of those guys were also that happened to them, but that's pretty cool. I mean, especially for someone like Michelle, who was so heavily involved in NASA, um,
Mhm.
ideal for her. Ideal.
So we'll get to the blow by blow. We have a cold open this episode. It comes to a scene from the Federation News Network. It's a big exposition dump that's a recap of the end of last season. Captain Freeman's been arrested for an explosion on Pakled Planet. We get a lot of, good Easter eggs in the news ticker. I don't know how many you noticed. Like Admiral Jellicoe, a mention of a Stratagema Grand Champion. Cut to Mariner throwing plants at the screen and breaking them. Her and her dad talk about how unfair what's happening to Captain Freeman is, and
Yeah, she's like,
uh,
yeah, you can
her
turn off
dad's
the screens, can't you? But she just wants to fucking break everything.
yeah.
Reminds me of the episode of South Park where Cartman was in Butters' bedroom and he got really pissed off and just started smashing everything. Yeah,
And it's
he's
butter
breaking all of
stuff.
all the butter stuff. Yeah, exactly.
But Beckett's dad wants her to trust the system and believe in the courts. She, says this is a system that has mom locked up. I don't trust it. Another admiral calls, and it turns out Carol has gotten Judge Myth Bin Tang. I'm not sure if that was a reference to something else.
I did not know if that was a reference. I also thought to myself when I heard that, I'm like, is that? And I didn't have a chance to look it up.
No, what made me laugh in all of that was the fact that she said, "What the hell is that? That's the Golden Gate Bridge." Well, we don't even
Yeah.
fucking drive anymore. We fly.
Nobody drives anymore. They're like,
No, but they like the Golden Gate Bridge. That's why it's still there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
It's a monument.
Yep.
It's it's
Everybody likes it.
architecture.
No,
Yeah,
I
that
gotta do a Picardment over here.
In the
no.
UK, that would be considered a listed building, too historic
Yes.
to knock down. So yeah.
Yep.
No, that was a golden bit.
Mm.
Turns out the judge is a planet's rights activist. Kind of characterized as a nutcase by Beckett. We go to the credits, and after that, we have kind of a Picard fake out. It turns out it's Boimler. His family owns a raisin vineyard, and Beckett's come to try to enlist him to go help rescue the captain. He agrees, and we get this hilarious bit where there's all these employee girls throwing themselves at Boimler, and he's
nice.
completely oblivious because he's Boimler. And I mean,
Yeah.
that reminds me of me in middle school and high school. But
That
That
reminds
was
me of
absolutely
the end
hilarious.
of this week.
Yeah. It was just absolutely brilliant because like the innuendo was all there and he's just not picking up on it.
Yep.
And he's getting really pissed off with them as well. You know what I mean? And they're being even if they're not like even if he's not picking up on it, they're being nice to him and he's still just not.
He's so over being there. I think my favorite part of the whole bit was the one named Leanne goes, "Well, I'm all covered in juice." He's just like, "Go, just hose off with use the hose, Leanne." I've got to say,
I thought it was but here's my thought process is I'm like I wonder if like all these girls are just trying to get with him because his family owns the vineyard and it's like
could be
to look for status, you know, and he knows that and that's why he's so annoyed.
I don't
I
think
don't think
that's out of character
no. And there's no real gold diggers in this particular, you know, like because there's no money, so
no, but they said it themselves. It's status. Status is the currency of.
Boimler's got no status. He's a fucking.
But his parent, I know. I listen. I'm trying to like nerd-splain it, and it's just not working.
No, the thing is that Boimler's the nerd, and he's too much of a nerd to figure out that all these hot chicks are throwing themselves at him, and he's too stupid to realize that he's got a good thing going here. But really, he wants to. He's just desperate to get back into space, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, so yeah, exactly.
Hashtag nerd-splain.
Yeah.
I wonder that too. Actually, that was hilarious.
No, that'll just be a big mystery throughout, like until like.
Yeah.
I hope they never reveal it. Just leave it a mystery.
Yeah.
So the pair head to Cisco's and recruit Rutherford and Tindy, and we get a whole slew of Cisco and Jake references, like the outfits are just like Jake's. Rutherford knows where the Cerritos is headed, and Beckett and Boimler want to get there to get his data pads that have exonerating logs on them. Turns out Rutherford knows where it is, and so they have.
I just want to mention like the entrance for Mariner initially, like you know, like Rutherford and Tindy are kind of having a date. It wasn't really explained, but I
think they were just mentioned like eating, like.
Yeah, and then like, they mentioned Mariner's name, and that was her cue to enter, and she was basically waiting for her name to be dropped so she can enter on the scene and stuff like that. And then Boimler rats her out, so to speak, by saying, yeah, she was totally waiting for you guys and all of that, which is absolutely hilarious. And obviously the chili as well. Like, like she's like, and Boimler can't eat the chili, a bit like the guy down beneath me. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was hilarious. You are Boimler, Cheeto.
Did you notice the name on the bottle of the sauce? It was Ketracel White Hot.
Cool.
So now Cisco's are getting. That was in the trailer actually.
But
that means that the Cisco's are now getting humans hooked on Ketracel White. I move that now Cisco's is run by founders, and they are trying to backdoor get every human hooked on Ketracel White, and they will become dependent on it, and the Dominion will reign supreme again.
Hold on, Ketracel White, remind me, please.
That's that drug that the Jem'Hadar had to take in order to survive.
Yes.
That's how the founders and
that cocaine shit going through their necks.
Yes, the cocaine shit going through their neck. Yes.
To survive and control as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Without that white, they wouldn't do anything. They would die.
That white, it wasn't
method.
Right.
Yes. Method of control. Yes.
Yes.
The sauce is listed at an impossibly high 17 million Scoville heat units.
Wow.
That is nuts. That would kill a person.
Yeah.
Mariner was going through it like it was nothing, whilst Boimler was acting like a kettle.
Yeah. That was hilarious. So they head to a top secret transporter facility to try to get to the Cerritos.
My mic's not low. It's just it's a little bit further away, but I have to use this one because my desk mic is it cuts in and out. So I'm sorry. I'll talk more like this for you, there, Ginger. If you like that one,
Ooh. How's my mic?
it's loud.
You're fine.
Loud? I'll talk real slow.
You know, apparently, allegedly,
You
the
would.
chief in the transporter place is some security badass. They get inside, and it's just a friendly old grandpa type until
Mhm.
it's
Well,
like, or is he?
They assumed he would be a badass because he's like somebody, he's like a cornerstone and stuff like that. But they just got the wrong idea of what this person would be. And so he ends up being this old guy. And he even mentions, doesn't he, that he's been fucked over a few times so people can do like the rogue Star Trek, we need to do this mission shit, even without the, even without staff, even if Starfleet say that we can't do it. So yeah, he's been through that before. It brought back memories of Star Trek 3 when they were stealing the Enterprise.
They missed a good Enterprise bingo reference there.
Yeah.
They
Could
could
it
have
have
been like
been the same character? And
No,
that's the
just-
Easter egg?
no, just an Enterprise bingo that just like
Oh,
because they were that one episode of Strange New Worlds with the Enterprise bingo, which isn't bingo. It's a bucket list. You just
Yes.
don't die at the end.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
you haven't
Anyway.
lived until you've completed it.
Right.
There you
So there's a swarm of space kind of creatures called Verugament that's blocking Earth to space transport at this time. So they're going to they end up going to Bozeman to a first contact theme amusement park. Kind
With
of
the first
reminiscent
contact theme.
with first contact theme.
In
Yep.
Montana,
All
this
sorts
was
of
in Montana.
nods in Bozeman, Montana, correct?
Yeah, he said
Yep.
Bozeman.
And
Okay. Oh, sorry, I had no idea. But Bozeman,
Listen,
I'm sorry.
we all know about Bozeman. I mean, it was the first
When you
flight
talk about Bozeman,
area.
I thought listen. When you talk about Bozeman, I thought one of two things: either a particular person in Star Trek, or those fucking shit speakers. All right, let's move
fair
on.
enough. Yeah. So they end up after going through this, just full of kind of references turned into an amusement park cliche. They steal a Phoenix replica, like roller coaster ride type rocket. They missed an opportunity to make the two guys guarding Space Dock and being the same two that Uhura locked in the closet in search for Spock. Poor
Yep.
guys
Sure
never got
did.
promoted.
Yeah, but that
Yep.
this would have been 90 years
Yeah.
later, I believe.
Yeah.
Maybe
He
even
did,
90 years plus later. I'm pretty sure they could. maybe their kids or their grandkids.
Mm.
But
Yeah, exactly. They could have made a quick mention saying, "Oh, we'll make sure that what happened to our grandparents won't happen to us," something like that, just to get you an idea that it's just basically history repeating itself to a degree.
and just a goofy Easter egg too. As I said,
exactly.
as I've always said, Lower Decks for me is loose canon. Like I don't think that anything had like. Do I really? If it comes out later that the Pac-Led planet wasn't destroyed in canon, am I going to be broken up? Not really. I still love the show.
So their plan to steal this replica Falcon goes off without a hitch, except for a park visitor named Kevin who's on there with them. But they blast
Crazy.
off anyways, complete with Steppenwolf playing like in First Contact.
I like the fact that they had other elements to this theme park, like you had the Vulcan ship that was a slide and stuff like and all of that, and you also had James Cromwell as well, who voiced Zephyr Cochrane again, which was a nice little touch. I got Daniel Vance.
Yeah, it was.
With more stuff here. I don't think Lower Decks is canon. The statue of Cochrane is what Geordie described, but not what he depicted in the First Contact. Cochrane is pointing while Geordie depicts an open palm. Listen, Yeah,
Cochran's
regarding
more doing a Booker T. Like he's more.
all I care about is when we talk about She-Hulk tomorrow, because there's some motherfuckers who are gonna be eating humble pie about what canon is.
Yeah,
I can't wait to talk.
Get up tomorrow, mother.
Yeah.
All right, get Mage. You just need to reel us in, man. Just
No, we're having fun, but I'll get to the end of it and we'll discuss what we thought overall.
But by the way, that you know when it comes to making any sort of show, any sort of film, where the money's at is the copyrighted music. And they probably spent a bit of money on that as well. But it was really good hearing that soundtrack again, and all of that. Just it was pretty cool that they did First Contact again. I very much appreciated it, and it was a hologram, wasn't it, of Zephyr Cochrane?
Yeah, excellent
Yep.
callback. Excellent
Yes.
callback to one of the best, or probably the best, Next Generation film, in my opinion. So they get there to the space dock. We get the bit about Boimler actually dyes his hair purple, and then they find his logs, and they're so full of oversharing that Mariner doesn't think they're going to be admissible as evidence, and she gets really upset. Yeah, understandably.
He smells seats, and he got really happy that fucking Captain Ransom called him by his name with his name recognition, and
it didn't even call him by his actual name, but he's still happy.
And he wasn't care about being embarrassed, you know what I mean? Because that's who he is, he's a geek.
He's one of us, and I mean he's mine and yours, boy Huey. I mean, who's also one of us.
There's one of us, and then there's smelling people's seats.
Boimler's the extreme. You're right. He's
I got caught smelling the captain's chair again. What?
Wait a minute.
You crazy?
You guys don't smell each other's seats? I mean, I fly all the way out to London to smell Zam's seat every now and then. I mean,
well, that's you.
Y'all are never gonna let me host again. So, she sent, after Tendi cheers Beckett up, she tricks him into getting on the shuttle. She set it to autopilot, and she's sending them off and going to steal the Cerritos herself. Boimler redirects the autopilot by redefining what it considers home to send them back into the ship, but they crash because it's trying to account for Earth atmosphere and not zero atmosphere going into the docking bay.
And a shuttle turned a few times, missing other shuttles in the bay, which is neat as heck.
Got Star Trek 5 callbacks here, emergency plan B.
Yeah.
B.
What's B?
You must be joking.
There was no barricade in this one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
There's a bunch of footies.
The three of them go.
Nets,
So they stop Mariner from stealing the ship. The alarms get sounded. Daniel Vance wanted his stupid nets pop up when the shuttle crashed.
Yep. That'd be neat.
The nets.
Wasn't.
You get the nets.
Flipped upside down. They're like, "Oh, are we still alive? Cool."
See, I would have played that whole scene differently. Like, just I would have Star Trek 5 did the way they did it, and then I would have got Mariner playing the Cybok role, where she just comes in and starts fucking, grabs. They're holding a stick, and she just grabs that stick and she starts swinging them around because she was beating the fuck out of everyone.
She was, but they finally subdue her, and she kind of bears her soul a little bit, shows weakness for one of the few times ever in the show. They kind of cheer her up once again, but the Verugament end up covering the ship. Tendi tries to talk their way out of it with security officers that eventually showed up since the alarm was sounded, and it was about to work until they ask who authorized them coming there for their alleged mission. And we get the big reveal. The captain comes in and claims she did. We get a big exposition dump of what easily could have been its own episode of, a 40-minute Trek, be a full episode.
Before we go into that, I just want to mention those pink aliens having sex all over the ship. I mean, I love the fact and this is from watching Jesse Gender's review of this episode. Like she mentions, like things like orgies, sex. It happens in Star Trek, and I'm really glad that they're sticking with it. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong in a bunch of space aliens fucking looking at the at
Fornicating.
Cerritos,
Mm-hmm.
having a massive orgy all over the ship. Perfect.
But I
Love
mean,
it.
that happened in Voyager. There was a whole episode of where space slugs were trying to mate with
Yeah.
Voyager, like, so I mean, this isn't the first time Trek has delved into this type of nonsense. And this episode felt like the writers were inspired by the boys.
Inspired by the boys.
No, last
Explain yourself
season,
a little bit.
the what was it? The holographic episode where they Mariner ran into the one holodeck that
Space Seas.
had had everybody all naked and Blumler's like spread eagle on the table, and that was inspired by the boys.
Yeah, that was Hero-gasm, yeah, for sure. Yeah, but
it was Trekkie-gasm.
So the Starfleet investigation found that the Packlids had falsified all the video of her planting the bomb through information brokers, and that she was framed by the Packlid who wanted to get reassigned to a resource-rich planet instead of their own home planet. We get a Tuvok reference where he mind melded with somebody to get the information out of them.
Well, sorry, mate, but the person who led the expedition to find out all this information was Kelsey Grammer's character from TNG, who was in the Enterprise C. That's what I heard.
No, not the Enterprise C. It was it the Bozeman? I think it was the Bozeman.
Okay,
from the time loop episode.
From the time loop episode. Yeah, the Bozeman.
Yeah, so that was him, apparently.
I actually didn't catch that reference, but
Jesse Gender again, saves the day.
I could see that. I can see that character design being that character.
It's definitely, this show just loves not giving nods to all the different Treks that they can.
Hundreds of episodes to give nods to as well, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting some Discovery references in the future, by the way. Haven't had any yet.
That would be nice. So Beckett says basically, oh, well, all's well that ends well. And her mom says, not so fast. And the whole family goes to the captain's office, and they tell her that, obviously they are not impartial enough when it comes to her discipline, and that she's not going to make it as an actual contributing member of Starfleet if they don't do something different. And the captain places Ransom in charge of Beckett's fate, so to speak. And I'm pretty sure they're going to set up for some more of that tension between them with the rest of the season.
They've got the hots for each other. Well, Mariner definitely got the hots for Ransom. I'm not sure if it's the other way around, but yeah, I like the way he said, "I'm your mama now." that was great. But
would have said, "I'm your daddy now," but he misspeaks. It's great.
No,
he'll say he says things kind of the opposite of what you would expect, and one of those a lot of times. I'm sorry, go on.
No, I just like initially when how this episode ended, I was watching, but I watched this episode twice, and I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm not really happy with this ending, because there was a lot of the way season 2 ended. This was a big fucking deal, and so with just the fact that regardless of what Mariner was doing, she never trusted into the system, and the system did actually help Carol Freeman out, and she ended up getting acquitted, and she was a free person. And that's exactly what I saw it as, watching it the second time round. Her dad told Mariner to trust into the system. Mariner went on her own, did the fucking Michael Burnham. She is she's like a parody of Michael Burnham to a degree. I'm going to do my own fucking thing, and break the rules and whatever to get the job done. And she didn't trust in the system, and the system actually helped Freeman out. So yeah, there's a lot from this, but yeah, watching the second time around, I very much appreciated the fact that there was a whole other story off screen that we didn't get to see. That was basically about Freeman being acquitted.
Yeah, it wouldn't have stayed true to the theme and of the show and title of the show if we had actually seen that sort of upper deck typical senior staff story play out on screen. It makes a good gag that all got resolved off screen. And you know,
actually, oh, go ahead.
No, you go, Cheeto.
I mean, I was just going to also add to that is that, yeah, and one of the problems I had with last season, which there were very few, but one of the problems is that I really felt like the lower decks, who are supposed to be this obscure group of people who don't interact, and I get it, Mariner's mom is the captain, but the whole point of the show was supposed to be the lower deck shenanigans, and they don't interact with the command crew that much. But then you've got tons of interaction between the lower deckers and the command crew all the time in season 2. And so I like this episode where it's like the command crew's off doing something else and our lower deckers are doing their own thing, so that was my problem with season 2. And it was kind of starting in season 1 also, that the lower deckers and the command crew were kind of cohabitating a lot rather than just crossing paths here and there. And I get it, it's still going to happen because now Ransom is overseeing Mariner, so we're going to see Ransom all the time, but
yeah, I totally agree. And the funny thing is that they've had so many interactions with each other that they pretty much all know each other now. So it's that, I mean, from the get go, if I could maybe change things a little bit, I would try to keep them apart as much as possible, or have a separate storyline. Like the subplot is always like the command crew and lower decks are doing their own thing, obviously, and there is maybe some mesh between the two groups, but they're not physically meshing with each other, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's how I would do it. But still, I still liked it for what it was.
Yeah, as I said, I don't. It does not remotely make me not like this show. I'm just saying, like, one of the issues that I've always had with this show, one of the issues that I've had for the past season, or last half of the first season, was I did feel like they were leaning a lot into the command crew as main characters as well, rather than being background characters like they should be. So, but if that's the only thing, if that's the only gripe I have with it, then I'm pretty sure it's still my favorite track. Daniel Vance says, I wonder when all takes place with regards to Picard. I'm trying to keep track of Riker to see if they'll give anything away for Picard season 3. No, he's still on the Titan. So this Titan Picard is years in the future.
Excuse me, it's not. You said it right earlier on, Gio. This is not Picard season 3. This is TNG season 8. Yes. Don't you fucking forget it.
No. The Lower Decks, I think they said takes place 5 years. I think after, takes place 5 years after Nemesis. I believe I'd have to go back and maybe 3 years or so. It wasn't long after Nemesis. So Riker's still on the Titan. Obviously, he's still, he's obviously still kind of settling in on the Titan. But yeah, so I don't think they're going to give anything away for Picard because I'm pretty sure this is way previous to Picard. Picard takes place, 25 years after Nemesis, I think?
Fuck knows.
I'm not certain.
But that's why they do a lot of these animated cameos, because actors that have aged up a lot, like Tom Paris and Tuvok, and so actually Tim Roth, no, is that his name? No, Tim Roth is for The Abomination.
Tim Russ
actually looks really good for his age. He does look older, but he could probably come back as Tuvok, and they could probably make him look pretty convincing as a post-Nemesis Tuvok. Anyway,
Gates McFadden looks amazing for her age.
Yeah,
I mean, she does. And when I found out that Jonathan Frakes is fucking 70, I was like, wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Where's the time gone?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
He turned 70 recently.
Guys, we're old.
Yeah.
I mean, this
I know.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
Don't remind me.
So that was kind of what we had, the content of this episode. Do we want to talk about add anything else to overall thoughts about the episode before
I-
we mark it?
I want to talk about the elephant in the room. Who gave Jellicoe a promotion? He was Admiral, something about Admiral Jellicoe.
Admiral Jellicoe on the news ticker at the very beginning
Who
of the
gave
episode.
that man a promotion? I want to know. I want names.
Wasn't me. I didn't do it.
I was hoping for this reaction, Cheeto. Excellent. That's why I made sure to remind you of it.
Uh-oh.
No, I love how just the vehemence of Cheeto's dislike for Jellicoe.
Yeah.
I wonder if Mariner's going to get an arc now where she's going to have to hold her shit down a little bit and not be so reckless, because the thing is she keeps getting these second chances, and the nepotism is playing its part while she's getting her second chances. But her dad even said there's nowhere else for you to go but the Cerritos.
But here's the thing: when do the shenanigans? Because this is why I'm always okay with people saying that Lower Decks is not canon, because it's like, let's be real. In an actual starship in an actual Federation live thing, it's like this wouldn't happen. Like Mariner, I know that they're trying to explain it away with, dad's an admiral, mom's a captain. This is the last place. So they're trying to explain it away, but it's really like, would they really like? I just feel like I'm okay with it being like The Simpsons. Like the kids never age up, and we don't explain why. Mariner's still in Starfleet. We don't explain why. You know what I mean? Like it's okay. With this type of show and this type of format, I'm okay with them being like, Mariner's still in Starfleet for reasons, because we want the show to continue, and it's a good show. Go ahead.
More episodic and less of the kind of blend of serialization that they have is like, kind of a reset to default every episode cartoon feel, right?
Yeah.
Is that kind of?
Yeah, I mean, well, no, I meant just more like, people, they're trying to rationalize more what, as you guys were saying, like what Mariner, now Mariner's going to have to tame down a little bit. Why?
Yes.
Like she's gonna have to tame. If this was a real Starfleet ship, like in a live action show, I'd be like, okay, I can see that. This is an animated show that's supposed to be comical. If you start, and I get it, like there's some comedy in that, but Mariner's not a character that you can just tame down. She'll be nerfed, and then she won't be as fun.
I don't know. Like everyone has arcs. Cheetah. I mean, you look at Boimler. Like in my opinion, he's more confident than he was from
confident
from
or competent.
Confident.
Okay.
Competent.
Yeah, got it.
He's still incompetent.
I mean, he thinks he's competent. I mean, like that time where he was doing the test, and he wasn't. He was pissed off until he got 100%. Like stuff like that. It builds his character. So you do get arcs. They're not going to be the same as they were in season 1. But I'm just not sure how the arc will go with someone like Mariner. You don't want her to be nerfed. At the same time, she needs to learn a lesson to a degree. It's going to be weird how they pull this off, if they can pull it off.
It'll be a tightrope for sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, why can't I kind of feel like it should be like The Simpsons? Like the kids don't grow up and we don't explain why. You know what I mean? Like Bart's always in what?
South Park
grade?
as well as the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Bart's always in 5th grade or 4th grade or whatever he's in. We don't explain why he never, grows up. Like I kind of am okay with that with this type of series. Like, the shenanigans and everything, they all stay ensigns. They all stay ensigns for a long time. And we're like, why are they pulling a Harry Kim with these people? Because we don't care. It's funny. We want them here. Let's keep them here and keep it entertaining. That's what this show is made for. We don't need to go into character. And I mean, Blemler getting a promotion. And actually, I was thinking about this because I had a real big problem with Blemler's advanced promotion and then demotion. After watching it again, like after the season was over, I was like, you know what? And that's when I kind of got the Simpsons comparison. I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with it because I want this to stay where it is because it works. And as I said, if this was a serious Trek, then yeah, I would understand the whole character progression and everything else. But with this type of Trek, I kind of just, it's got to be funny. It's got to be good. Things don't have to necessarily exactly make sense, but we still want all the references and everything like that. That's how I feel about this show. And I feel like if we get too character driven, it's just going to ruin the show. in my opinion. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it needs to be more episodic. I agree with you to a degree, but they're making it like that, so it's gonna be interesting to see where it goes. But just a couple of comments here. Ryan Gilles, I hope I said your name correctly. In before the Traveler shows up for Mariner.
Dude, Wesley's Nick Fury, and he's showing up and he's trying to start his own Star Trek Avengers. He's gonna grab somebody from each show.
There's still 2 Boimlers, isn't there?
There is technically still 2 Boimlers, and that's the thing. It doesn't make sense, and I don't care.
Okay, and by the way, this is an interesting comment from Daniel Barnes I wanted to mention. That's why I'm scared about Lower Decks live action crossover on Strange New Worlds. I'm embracing it, dude. You know, I mean, I'm right now. I'm like Jack Quaid's biggest fan. Like the guy can't do any wrong. You know, and it's amazing. You know, like he's nepotism done right. He really is. You know, I mean, both his parents were famous Hollywood actors in their prime. And he's come out and when I think of Jack Quaid, I don't even think of, even though I mentioned his parents, I don't necessarily think about them. The Boys is fantastic. He's fantastic with Boimler. He's been in other stuff as well, like Scream. He can do no wrong at this moment in time. So I'm looking forward to him being live action and strange he was.
Let's just hope he doesn't go down the Ezra Miller path.
You took the words out of my mouth. I almost made that joke.
Jesse Gender did an interview. Jesse Gender did an interview with him. There is no chance. Ezra Miller is a fucking idiot. Always has been, always will be. But you can see we're right.
Wait, Jesse Gender had an interview with Ezra Miller?
No, Jack Quaid.
Oh.
I keep calling him Jack Ryan. Like fucking hell, the guy's like in the Tom Clancy books. Jack Quaid. You know. Yeah. So. Yeah, he's done an interview with him, and that's pretty cool. And I mean, they're filming season 4 of The Boys as we speak. So I just can't wait for that fucking show. Anyway,
I still have to finish. Anyway, I apologize.
3. You still haven't watched the final episode?
No, I still have not got. Wanker. Yeah, I mean, that's more important than The Boys season finale to me. So
yeah. Anyways, any more to say on this, mate? Are we done with the play-by-play?
We haven't really marked it yet, but
I mean, just for overall thoughts from me, I'm kind of disappointed, but also happy that they didn't end up doing the route of the whole overarching plot of season 3 is exonerating the captain. You know, that's kind of what they portrayed to us in the trailer. Instead, they just spoiled a lot of the first episode and, you know, made the jokes and references not hit the same. But I think there's potential in the Mariner's got to try to keep her nose clean arc. Mm-hmm. But I agree with Cheeto that I think that might be detrimental to the formula and that a lot of the season 1 formula and return to the status quo at the end of each episode makes for a better playground to tell funny stories.
Look, there's 2 things I want. I want to eventually delve more into the flashbacks of Rutherford when he was under the knife, so to speak. We saw those flashbacks in season 2. Mm-hmm. We need to figure that a bit more. And honestly, no more Packlet. I think I'm done this season. I think like no more Packlet. I don't want them to be the reoccurring villain for the Cerritos crew. Just they're done. I really want them done this season. That's it. You know, I'm fed up of them because yeah.
Oh, I was just say, by the way, did you guys notice in the intro that now in that big battle between the Romulans and the Borg, the crystalline entities in the background?
I didn't catch that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I was sitting there, and I think the Packlet are also in that fight. I think after last season, I think it was the Borg and the Romulans in the first season. Then they added the Packlets, and now the crystalline entities just hanging out in the background in the intro of this season. I'm like, what? Are we gonna get to season 7, and it's just gonna have like a whole mesh of everything just shooting at each other? That's it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much my overall. I enjoyed the episode. Zam, we'll start with you, mark it, and we'll move clockwise.
I have to say, like, this was just an okay episode. I think it was nice to come back to this episode, and some of the callbacks was pretty cool. But it wasn't like the greatest episode of Lower Decks. But I'm not saying it was shit. I feel like there was. I don't want to say there's something missing, but it just felt average. So I'm going to give it still a decent score of 7 out of 10.
Cheeto?
I actually agree with Zam. I'm leaning towards a 7 out of 10. As I said, I don't want this show to, and as we mentioned this before, I don't want this show to delve into too much character development, just because I don't want that for this show. If this were any other Trek, I would say yes, give me character development, give me rank advancements. But for this show, I'm really leaning into the Simpsons style. I want things to stay the same because it works. And I feel like they're actually leaning more into, hey, let's develop these characters. And truth be told, I don't want it. So, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. A lot of good references, a lot of good jokes. But
before you pass it on to Boone, you remember like in The Simpsons that one episode where Burns meets Homer and he still doesn't remember him, and like Homer gets pissed because we've done so much fucking shit together and you still don't fucking remember. You don't fucking remember me. It's like, yeah, that was pretty cool. Anyway, Daniel Vance gives it a 6 out of 10. Commodore Boone.
Well, before I mark it, we all got to remember one thing. There was one person, there was Tuvok there that broke the Packlets and found out the truth to make sure that the captain didn't get hung at all. So she got cleared because of Tuvok. So he did pretty good. I would give it an 8.
not 10 out of 10? Not 10 fingers? What?
8.
8 sausages out of Commodore Boone.
But
Tuvok is a bit of a sleuth, isn't he? So I'm
well, but there was also he also had no lines. Like, he was there, but he had no lines.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I would have preferred a actual cameo. But
well,
I'm also
James
going to
Cromwell.
Yeah, that was a big get because he's not cheap. Nor is Steppenwolf. I'd give the episode a 7 out of 10 as well. I feel they kind of did themselves a disservice by putting so much of it into the trailer. And so, just it couldn't hit the landing with, the same jokes and the same references. But overall, still an average piece of television, and hopefully we'll get, more of a return to form next week.
Watching this episode, I'm thinking to myself, hold on, they haven't even come close to resolving Freeman's issue, and we're near the end of the episode, and they're fucking having to deal with these pink aliens, having orgies, and they're covered in this yellow fucking cum. Sorry, it's purple cum later on in the show. Thinking, well, when are they going to resolve this shit? And then obviously Carol Freeman comes in, and it's already resolved. So yeah, that was convenient. But yeah, all right, fair enough. I'm sorry, I apologize. Thought it was funny. Ryan Gillette says it was funny. Looking forward to more. Give it a 7. Give it 7 out of 4. Batless. What the fuck is 7 out of 4?
Like 7 of 9, 7 of 4. I don't know. 7 out of 4. Batless.
I think he's saying it was really good, but trying to be a troll because that's just who he is.
No, fair enough. Nice point, Ryan. It sounds like it seems a decent score, but yeah, overall, I think our scores were pretty positive. So
yeah, that was funny.
It was.
Yes,
but there have been funnier Lower Decks episodes. So anything more to say, fellas?
I agree with you. I wish we never got too much in the trailers. I think the trailers ruined this episode, and that's the thing. When trailers spoil stuff, then they shouldn't give us snippets of what's happening in scenes. There's a little clip there, a little clip here, a little clip here, and stuff like that. So yeah,
basically
that's what I would have preferred. Yeah. For All Mankind, just started shooting season 4. If you've not yet got on board the space shuttle, jump on board. Okay. There's so much stuff to get involved in right now. I just finished watching Sandman, for fuck's sake. That was weird. Like every scene they had in America was really England made to look like America, and it pissed me off because I could tell it was fucking England, not America. So anyway, yeah. Yeah, with British accents with a shitty American accents. Anyway, sorry.
Well, thank you to everyone for joining us tonight. Zam, Cheeto, Commodore, thank you so much for joining me.
Anytime.
Letting me take the reins tonight. To all of you out there, thanks for joining us in the discussion. Make sure, I mean, if you're watching this after the fact, let us know below in the comments what your favorite parts of the episode were. You know, give us a like, hit subscribe button. This has been NerdTube, the best channel that you've sort of maybe kind of heard of.
Oh, I just want to add.
Oh, it's the best, man. It's the best. Come on.
Donnie Pearson, he
the
calls
best.
rightly, and I'm really sorry, mate. But he's saying he's you're well on the first day of the 56th mission Las Vegas Star Trek convention. First time watching this NerdTube stream. Thank you very much for joining us, dude.
Absolutely.
But yeah, please join us tomorrow so we can tell these motherfuckers who think that fucking the Incredible Hulk is not canon. It is canon. I can't wait to fucking tell these fuckers. That's you. You're one of the fuckers, Daniel Vance, and I can't wait to tell you tomorrow.
Oh.
So you better join us for that shit.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be on like Revlon tomorrow. I mean.
Oh yes. All right. Sorry for interrupting.
No, it's all good. We definitely want to welcome our new viewer. Thanks for joining us, everybody out there. Live long and prosper.
Have a good night. Take care.